This is Mark Wehner II with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Service Ambassador Real Estate. We're jumping on here for a second time. So it kicked us both off and I got back on and I did not unmute myself. So that was kind of funny. So you got to listen to 6 minutes of, I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. So yeah, anyways, we're talking real estate with Champions Real Estate Team here. We jump on every week and go over what's going on in the real estate market. Joining me is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So, but if you can, are good at lip reading, you can watch the 6-minute video that I just did and went back and redid it. So anyways, we always start out here kind of with a quick tip. So what I was talking about, I think that you might have heard the quick tip on the first 40 seconds before it kicked us off. Anyways, but we talked about when you're writing an offer, there's two types of offers you can write. You know, do you want to buy the house or do you just want to put in an offer? And, you know, that's the thing I coach my clients on. You know, the last couple months in the fall, it's like, hey, you got some houses on the market, been on the market for a little while. You can throw out an offer and see if that seller takes it. You know, you might counter back and forth and meet happy medium. But as we get more into the spring market, you better be ready to buy the house with that offer. You know, so what I mean, you know, and I coach hockey for 15 years with my players. I'm like, you want to compete in the competition or you just want to participate? You know, from that aspect of it, it's like, yeah, you can jump on the ice, you can skate around with your stick and look like a hockey player, or you can go battle in front of the nets and compete to win, you know, battle in the corners, you know, battle all over the ice. And that's competing in the competition. Same thing, you know, in real estate, when you're writing an offer, you know, let's just say, for example, house is $300,000. Well, let's start out at 275 and let's see if we can meet in the middle at 280, 290 and see if we can get the house. Well, meanwhile, while you're trying to monkey around with that, somebody's going to rock in this market and give them $300,000 for the house, and you're not going to get the house. You know, and ultimately we'll do the research behind the back end. Does that 300 make sense? You know, is it a fair market value for the house? You know, we'll give you a good idea of what that price should be and what that buy that house price is. And in that regards, and that's, you know, and get that house. You know, yes, everyone likes to get, you know, I've had a bunch of clients, you know, in the past, you know, this crazy months, I don't pay full price for anything, Mark. Well, I'm like, you're not going to get a house in this market that we've been in lately. And I'm not doing that to be, you know, obnoxious or anything, but that's just how the nature of the beast in the contracts I've done. And it's like, let's position the house, let's get it at that. Maybe we come out and we give them, you know, what they want rather than and get that house accepted before 3 or 4 other offers. And that $300,000 house is now 315 because you got escalation clauses and all that kind of crazy stuff. So that's just things we do here at Champions Team is coach you how to write an offer to get you that house. You know, and our goal is to get you a seat at the table, you know, so that that seller has to call me or that agent has to call me and say, Mark, would your client do X and Y? Well, let me go back. I can come back to you. You say yes or no. But rather than me getting a text message, hey, Mark, thanks for your offer. Unfortunately, we went with a different offer and best of luck to you and your clients. Okay, we don't have anything to go off of there, but at least, you know, if they come back and ask us if we would do X or Y, you can say yes or no. You know, and that way you have a little bit more control in the ball game because you got a seat at the table and we wrote those offers strong enough to get you out there. So yes, that's kind of my quick tip here is, you know, do you want to buy the house or do you want to put in an offer? Two separate things. You want to compete in the competition or you want to participate? Many different ways you can kind of shake it, but that's what we do here is coach you in that regard. So, but let's jump in here and take a look at what's gone on in the real estate market over the last 7 days. Oops, I shut up the screen. Of course I would. Why don't I, right? Let me pull this up here just a second. So as we go through that one and this one here. So get out of here. Man, we are full of technical difficulties here today. Anyway, so cool. So as we look at the housing markets, we saw more listings go live in the last 7 days. We had 442. That's about the most we've had in the last month or so. So which is indicative of the market, which is typical this time of year. Weather's getting a little nicer. Spring, sellers are putting the houses on the market, you know, and all that good stuff. New contracts is down a little bit from the previous week. We're at almost just a little over 300. Last week we're about 330, 340, if I recall. On there. So yeah, we were at 350 last week, 309 the week before. So it's almost like we're going up and down in that peaks and valleys of the last couple of weeks. So sold homes 190. So that's down. But when you look at 45 days ago, basically we're sitting right at New Year's Eve. So that's, you know, most people aren't buying houses that week. People are holidays and all that kind of good stuff. But so we're seeing more houses come on the market. You know, not as many buyers right now, but next week we'll probably see a bunch. You know, we got the nicer weather coming up. But yeah, if you're going out there, you want to buy the house. Don't be back, don't be silly and just putting offers out there. I mean, you can, investors will throw houses, the house has been on the market for a long time. Hey, let's just throw them a low ball and see what happens. And sometimes it works. There's no fault in that. But yeah, so let's take a look at the 30,000 foot view here. Let me blow this up just a little bit so we can see a little bit better on your guys' screen. So Omaha Lincoln MLS, so we're just under 2,400 homes in the entire Omaha and Lincoln MLS. And then we look at Douglas Sarpy County, we're just at 1422. Last week we were at 1433. So this graph doesn't really change a whole lot. The previous one is where we can see the ebbs and flows of the houses coming on the market, but this is always a good thing to take a look at. So we had 528 homes in the entire Douglas and Sarpy County area that are existing homes for sale. So that's, take a look at our population. That's not a lot of homes. New construction under 900 there, 894. Months of inventory at 3 or less. That's a seller's indicative of a seller's market. Average sold price 325. So on my silent video, like the silent movies, I was talking about new construction is, there's still some spec homes out there that some seller or some builders are giving a little concessions on, be it they're paying points to get your interest rate down, closing cost, upgrades, things like that. But the new construction, new builds that are going to be done, in 12 months, from now, those prices actually just went up in December. I was working with a client, went up $13,000. I know another one went up $30,000 from different builders. And that's just because they're resubmitting out their plans to the subcontractors, and materials and labor and everything like that are being built into those prices. So that builder aren't necessarily making that extra, $10 to $15, $30,000 on that increase. That's just what the market's doing. And new construction is retail price. Existing homes is wholesale price. It's used, it's a new car versus used car. It's the same comparison there. So, but if we're getting all this talk about buying houses, I guess we got to understand, we got to figure out what our purchasing power is, and we'll talk to Russ about what's going on in the mortgage industry. So how are we doing, Russ?
Doing pretty well. Yep, I can hear you. It was just about a week or 10 days ago that we had the best interest rates that we had seen in the last 8 months. And within just a couple of days, we are now at the highest rates we've seen in the last 30 days. And a significant reason for that is that we've got a 1-2 punch going on here in the month of February. We had a stronger than expected jobs report at the beginning of this month. And then we just had retail inflation numbers come in yesterday, as a matter of fact, just slightly above expectations. And that kind of depressed, if you will, some investors in the bond market, because that likely kicks the can down the road on when the Federal Reserve Bank will start to lower its Fed funds rate and adjust its policy. They were projecting there was a chance of a rate cut in March. That's pretty much gone at this point. And that prior to this last 2 weeks, that it was likely about 50% that the Fed would start to lower its short-term rates at the May meeting. They meet every 6 weeks. After the last 2 weeks of economic data, they're saying that the likelihood of a Fed rate cut in March is probably gone. And in May, we're looking at about a 30% chance of a rate cut. And most of the market now is thinking that first rate cut could happen in June. Now, certainly we could have things pop up that could shift the Fed's focus and attention and move away. They like to follow the personal consumption expenditures report, which will come out here about a week and a half from now, I guess. Or we could have a weaker jobs number come in. But unless one of those two things happens to shift, we probably will see rates in this range now through probably sometime in March. The reason why that's significant is this creates a great opportunity for people who are wanting to buy a home. They might be saying, Russ, what are you talking about? Rates are higher. What I'm telling you is there are people sitting on the sideline waiting for rates to come down. This is your chance to get out there, and instead of having to compete with 10 offers, you might only have to compete with one or maybe even two, or maybe even none if you get out there now. So give Mark and his team a call. This is a great chance to buy a home. When we do see those rates improve at some point in time, and they will, we can always refinance and get that rate down for you. But get out there now to buy a house. This is your opportunity before we see a lot more people come off the fence, come off the sidelines, and put more upward pressure on home prices.
Yep, and that's typical for this time of year. You're going to see more buyers come in the market, but like you said, there are still some of those that are watching the ticker symbols at the bottom of what their interest rates are, and they might just wait. Meanwhile, appreciation and just the supply and demand, the house prices are going up while they're waiting. And so just kind of what time do you want to get in the market? You don't buy what do you say? You don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. That's a simple thing in that regards. But yeah. So that's kind of, I think, about all we got for this week. But if you want to go out and compete in the competition, give us a holler, because we'll teach you how and coach you and educate you on how to write those offers to get those winning bids and things of that sort. So that's one of those things that we do here at Champions Real Estate Team. And Russ, teaming up with him on the financing side, they can help you, with the different product lines that he has and things of that sort. So being a mortgage broker, he's got many different options out there for you for first-time buyers, and all sorts of that stuff for investors and things of that. So, but awesome. Well, appreciate it. Appreciate you, Russ. Thanks for jumping on, and sorry about technical difficulties, but we'll delete that video. So for those people who never even see that one, but anyways, maybe we'll leave it up just for kicks. So, but anyways, appreciate it. Thank you. And